So I've been thinking a lot recently about videos I can make that are a little bit shorter than my normal lore videos, just because the lore videos can be a little bit draining at points as they take me so much time to do now, and I like the idea of occasionally being able to make videos that are a little bit less time consuming and allow me to explore other parts of The Witcher. Effectively have a video that allows me to have a little bit of a rest once a week, but also lets me do something that's quite fun and different in regards to my normal videos. So an idea came to me due to some more recent news surrounding the next Witcher game. This topic in particular is something I've made videos on in the past, as despite this recent news, we have actually known for quite a long time now that CD Projekt Red, or CD Projekt Red, would be making another Witcher game. But now, I guess it's just more confirmed, and they've actually said, yeah, the dual franchise approach, we're going to be making a new AAA RPG Witcher game. So, the idea that I came up with is how would the next Witcher game look, say if we got to play as a Witcher from another school. And by came up with, I mean I just kind of thought of this. I'm sure it's already a thing, but I kind of thought of this without having looked anywhere or the rest. So I'm just going to say that I came up with it, even though I probably didn't come up with this first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, depending on what you guys think of today's video, to make videos on each of the schools surrounding this topic. And these videos are supposed to be quite short, a little less, I suppose, formal, and also act as a way for me to really express my excitement for the next game, as well as share my thoughts, and of course, hear your thoughts in the comments. As I'm sure most of you watching will have plenty to say on the next entry into the Witcher game series, and let this video act as a place where you can just share your thoughts and chat to people about it, as I like to hear it too. Now that's out of the way, I'm going to begin this series where I began the proper lore videos with the School of the Cat. To begin, the School of the Cat Witches are effectively the roguelike assassin witches if you were to try to categorize them. So how do I think this would translate across into gameplay? In my mind, I sort of have an image of a game with the Witcher's quality of writing, character and world building, but potentially with some mechanics similar to, say, the Assassin's Creed franchise. Now I know a lot of you out there may dislike that series with an absolute passion, but one thing I think it's hard to disregard is the parkour style mechanics present in a lot of those games. I personally think that the best example of this, which I'm going to try and show on screen, can be seen in the game Assassin's Creed Unity, which despite its, let's just say, messy beginnings, can really show just how fun climbing in an RPG setting can be. And just imagine this in a fantasy world like The Witcher, with somewhere like Novigrad, with monsters climbing across the rooftops, all that sort of stuff, chasing vampires. I think that would be pretty fun. Now, imagine that single mechanic, not the combat mechanics of Assassin's Creed or anything like that, the story, whatever else you might dislike from that series, just that single mechanic, combined with the Witcher's oils, potions, signs, runestones, etc. I think that would be pretty fun. Of course, Cat School Witches aren't literal parkour masters or anything like that, but something I think is worth considering is that there is certainly room for us as players to play as a Cat School Witcher that has had to develop these skills in order to do what a lot of Cat School Witches do, and this is assassinate people. And perhaps this mechanic could be incorporated to a lesser extent than in Assassin's Creed, perhaps simply allowing us to, say, scale buildings. So what I'm trying to say is that you could have maybe a more nimble Witcher that can sort of scale buildings by gripping onto, I don't know, like window ledges and stuff like that. Because Geralt can climb, but let's just say his climbing isn't exactly, elegant. This brings me to another Cat School lore point. A lot of Cat School Witches, as was said by Geralt in game, literally turned hired killer. And we know for a fact that their sort of home school, at least at one point, was destroyed. So if the game was to be set after the destruction of the Cat School, it might be interesting to have a game where you go around as a Witcher that literally doesn't have a home. I mean, we could even play as a Cat School Witcher who begins the game as an assassin, and through our choices can either become good, evil, or some grey area in between. Maybe they only assassinate really bad people or something like that. I think there is certainly a lot of room playing as a Cat School Witcher for some incredible character moments. As if you think Wolf School Witches are outcasts, the Cat School Witches are on a whole other level. There is even some lore stating that the way in which these witches are created can leave some of them mad, etc. So that could play into it in some way. Maybe you have another Cat School Witcher who actually goes mad, you've got to sort them out. I don't know. There's so many ideas, and maybe I'll do another video discussing actual story ideas, but I'm just trying to give you a general idea of how I could see a lot of the Cat School Witcher type stuff being incorporated into a Witcher game and how that would maybe translate into gameplay. But I won't be getting into many more lore points, as these videos aren't meant to be the full-on lore videos videos, I'm just going to discuss key things that sort of go into how the gameplay might actually work. Now, something else I was considering was what sort of weapons would we use as a Catskill Witcher. As of course, like most witches, the Catskill Witches use both a silver and steel sword, but I'd personally say that were they to use these weapons in combination with a silver and steel dagger, it wouldn't be necessarily not lore-friendly, as we see Letho use similar weapons in the Witcher 2 cinematic. So there is a precedent for witches using other weapons, and particularly, I guess with Letho, daggers. And despite what some may say, witches are actually trained in most forms of weaponry. So we could see an entirely different style of combat, but a different style of combat that still incorporates signs, runestones, bombs, oils, etc. I think this would be pretty cool. Imagine, as I said before, having two daggers, but they're runed, and you can also use signs and bombs, and there's more of sort of a fast-paced style to it. Maybe they could incorporate some combat similar to, say, I don't know, God of War with timed blocks being more important and stuff like that, and you've got to really be quick on your toes. Maybe that could be some sort of mode. That'd be quite fun, I think. They could add like another level of difficulty to it. Being a Catskill Witcher could also add more stealthy mechanics to the game, which is something that could be used to create interesting stories, and as a Witcher's job on, say, contracts is effectively to be an investigator, having to sneak around to find clues using Witcher senses could be quite fun. So, as I said before, climbing buildings, looking through windows, all that sort of stuff, it could be quite an interesting game, I feel. Very different to The Witcher we know, but I think if they do it in the same world, same sort of music, same setting, all that sort of stuff, they maintain the sort of core Witcher aspects, but just show us how another Witcher could actually perform in this world, I think that could be quite an interesting story for sure. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. I might do another video about a Witcher game involving the Catskill Witches, for example, particular story points I might have ideas about, or theories about, or anything like that. Honestly, these videos are just for a bit of fun. I just thought I'd make this video to throw some ideas out there and see what you guys think, and, you know, it's fun to just talk Witcher sometimes, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I do just want to quickly say that this video is not a what I want from the next Witcher game type video. It's simply a video explaining some of the ideas I have surrounding how a Witcher game based around the Catskill Witches could be. I'm not saying this is how I would want the next Witcher game, as of course you could basically just make another Witcher 3 but with a Catskill Witcher, so no new mechanics, etc. And that in itself could be pretty fun, but the way I see it, if you're going to make a new game based around another Witcher school, you may as well try and incorporate some of the new styles of fighting and other mechanics, as different Witcher schools did all seem, at least from a game point of view, to specialize to some extent in different areas. For example, Catskill Witch's armor is light, Bear heavy, Griffin medium, etc. Stuff like that. You can sort of see the fact that the schools were all different to some extent. And I will quickly add that of course we can see Catskill Witches actually fighting in The Witcher 3, and they're not exactly the way I described, but personally guys, the way I see it, they could easily make it slightly different if we actually played as a Catskill Witcher to incorporate some of this stuff, because obviously a lot of the combat in The Witcher, at least when you're fighting people, is very similar. The Witchers just use a few more signs and stuff. It's a little bit different, but it's pretty similar when you're looking at NPCs, right? So if they were to make a game where you actually play as a Catskill Witcher, they could do it completely differently, and it wouldn't necessarily break the lore, at least of the games. But that's it for today's video. Be sure to like it if you've enjoyed and want me to make more videos like this, discussing the other Witcher schools and how I picture a game based around them possibly working in the future. I'll also say that I could make videos discussing how a Witcher game could be, playing as a non-Witcher faction character could be, for example, playing as, I don't know, a Scoia'tael or a Nilfgaardian soldier or something like that. I'm also thinking of making videos discussing how each potential area might work in the future Witcher games for some of these short videos, basically more short Witcher 4 speculation and I guess fun videos, just when I feel like I want to have a little bit of break from the sort of intense grind that the lore videos put me on, as of course I love making them, but if you keep doing it every week, I don't want it to get stale, so I've decided this week just to make something a little bit different, and something that'll just sort of give my brain a bit of a rest. So yeah, be sure to like for that, and of course subscribe for more Witcher videos, as I make them every week, and if you subscribe, you won't miss them. But don't worry if you're not a big fan of these sort of videos and just want lore, as I will be making a lore video for the next, I suppose, high effort video, so stay tuned for that. I will just quickly say, since it's been a while since I've properly talked about this, that I have been streaming quite a bit on Twitch recently under the name The Ranger George, so check that out if you want to come chat to me or just see me play some games, sort of similar to my Witcher 3 playthrough. There should be a link in the description if you want to see that. Check out my Twitter for updates and comment down below your thoughts on the upcoming Witcher game, and just comment down below what you think of some of these ideas, as I'd love to hear what a lot of you you guys think, because obviously this is just my thoughts, and I imagine you'll all have completely different tastes and see a Cat Skull Witcher game in a completely different way. Finally guys, as always, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are honestly so amazing, and just thank you all so much. I really appreciate you guys, and honestly, it's just so kind, so thank you all so much. I'm glad to put all of your names at the end of these videos. Also, thanks to anyone that likes, comments, subscribes, all that sort of stuff. I do appreciate it, guys, and I know that putting this stuff at the outro is kind of annoying and all the rest, but I just want to thank you guys, and obviously it's helpful and all the rest, so yeah, I just thought I'd add it. Anyway, that's it for today's Witcher video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have an awesome rest of the week.